3 engagements, 2 years, 0 marriages. One of those engagements happened on Love is Blind Season 10. Netflix never showed it to you. The couple got engaged in the pods, did the reveal, said it was awesome, and then, the very next day, the man announced he was moving to Florida, and then ghosted her completely. And by the end of 2025, that same man was already engaged again, to a completely different woman, someone with 0 connection to this show. 3 engagements in 2 years, and Love is Blind Season 10 has been on Netflix this entire time, with this story completely cut from the final edit, like it never happened. Like Alyssa Finley never sat in that pod, never fell in love, never said yes, never got her heart broken the next morning by a man who had already ended one engagement the year before and was apparently already planning the next one. Netflix hid this from you, and tonight, we are talking about all of it. Okay, 3 things you are going to find out in this video. Number 1, the complete Alyssa and Miguel story. Who they are, how they connected, what happened the day after the reveal, and the specific reason Miguel gave for ghosting that is one of the most jaw-dropping things anyone has ever said to justify abandoning their fiancé. Number 2, the receipts on Miguel's engagement history. Because 3 engagements in 2 years from a 32-year-old man is a pattern, not a coincidence. And Reality Steve, reality receipts, and public records all tell the same story. Number 3, why Netflix cut this couple from the season. Because the show creator Chris Colin actually confirmed it in an Entertainment Weekly interview. And his explanation raises more questions than it answers about how this experiment actually works behind the scenes. Subscribe right now if you are watching Season 10. This story deserves its own video. Let us get all the way into it. First, let us talk about who Alyssa Finley actually is. Because if you watched this season, you know her. You just do not know her love story. Alyssa is 39 years old from Ohio, and she had the single most memorable entrance of any cast member in the Season 10 premiere. Not because of what she said in the pods, not because of who she connected with, but because she accidentally put nail glue in her eye instead of eye drops. She was rushed to the hospital in episode 1, before the pods had even really gotten started. And she came back, recovered, got back in there, and found 2 strong connections, one with Jordan Faith and one with a man named Miguel Josue Lopez. And here is the thing that Alyssa confirmed publicly. She felt more chemistry with Miguel than with Jordan. She said the connection with Jordan started feeling more like a friend vibe over time. And so she made a choice. She walked away from the safer connection, and she went to Miguel. And Miguel proposed. She said yes. They did the reveal, and Alyssa describes seeing each other for the first time as awesome. She said there was immediate chemistry when they finally laid eyes on each other. Exactly what she had hoped for. Exactly what the experiment is supposed to produce. They were engaged for approximately 1 day. But wait, because here is where this story stops being a sad breakup and starts being something much more specific and much more disturbing. Stay with me. When Alyssa and Miguel returned to Ohio after filming, Miguel sat her down and told her he was moving to Tampa. The next day, he had already made the decision. He was already packed. He was already gone in every way that mattered before he even told her. And then Alyssa found out something else. Something that explains at least part of why Miguel ghosted her so completely and so immediately. Alyssa already knew Miguel's previous fiancé, not casually, not in a this is a small world way. They were connected enough that Miguel saw it as a problem, a genuine conflict, something he was not willing to navigate. And so, instead of having an honest conversation about it, instead of saying, "This is complicated and I need to figure out what it means," He announced he was moving states and then stopped responding entirely. He took their engagement, put it in a box, threw the box in the Tampa Bay, and walked away. Alyssa said it to the camera with zero ambiguity. She said, "He stole this experience from me. It was really hard afterward. Since that day, we have not talked." That was it. She also said something that hit me harder than almost anything else said on this entire season. She said, "I dodged a bullet." Now, I'm going to ask the harder questions sooner and not waste my time, especially because I am 39. What are your values really? Are you a narcissist? Hopefully no. Next time, I am going to find those red flags real quick. She is 39. She went on a nationally televised love experiment, got proposed to, said yes, and was ghosted the next morning by a man who was already planning his next life move. And then she turned that into a lesson about asking harder questions sooner. That is not just resilience. That is a woman refusing to let someone else's cowardice define her story. Okay, I need you to focus right now because this next part is where the Miguel Lopez timeline gets genuinely hard to process. According to Reality Steve, who broke this story on Instagram and has been confirmed by multiple subsequent sources, Miguel Lopez's engagement to Alyssa in March 2025 was not his first recent engagement, and it was not his last. Let me give you the full timeline. Before Love is Blind Season 10 filmed, Miguel was already engaged to someone else. That engagement ended in 2024. We do not know the details of that breakup. We do not know who ended it or why, but we know it happened. Then, Love is Blind films in early 2025. Miguel enters the pods, connects with Alyssa, proposes, gets engaged. Second engagement, March 2025. Ghosts her the next day, moves to Tampa. And then, by the end of 2025, Miguel Lopez is engaged again to a completely different woman, someone with zero connection to this show. Third engagement in 2 years. Reality Steve put it plainly. This is Miguel's third engagement in the past 2 years. He ended one in 2024. He ghosted Alyssa in March 2025, and he was engaged to someone new by the end of that same year. 3 times, in less than 24 months. A 32-year-old man has said, "Will you marry me?" 3 separate times to 3 separate women. And the only public record of any of it is a show that cut his story entirely and a spoiler blogger who connected the dots. Can you believe that? Now here's what makes the Netflix side of this story even more interesting. Because Chris Colin, the creator and showrunner of Love is Blind, confirmed everything in an Entertainment Weekly interview. And his explanation of why they cut Alyssa and Miguel is worth examining very carefully. Colin told EW, "We actually had 8 couples get engaged and followed 7 of them. The 8th couple, who we did not follow, broke off their engagement the next day." That is it. That is the full statement. One sentence, passive voice, broke off their engagement, like it was a mutual decision, like 2 people sat down together and said, "You know what, this is not for us." Like there was no ghosting, no Tampa announcement, no man who had already ended one engagement the year before walking out of another one 24 hours after it started. The 8th couple broke off their engagement the next day. Netflix knew. Colin knew. They knew this man ghosted Alyssa. They knew his engagement history. They had all of it. And the official public statement was, broke off their engagement. And here is the thing that really bothers me about the production choice. Alyssa was on camera this entire season. She appeared in group scenes. She had the nail glue hospitalization moment in episode 1 that every viewer remembers. She was physically present in this season for the entire run. and not a single episode acknowledged that she had been engaged, that she had said yes to someone, that she had experienced the exact thing the show promises its participants, a real emotional connection in the pods, and then had it taken away in one conversation on a Tuesday morning in Ohio. Every other cast member who had a complicated or painful experience got screen time for it. Chris and Jessica's body-shaming implosion got multiple episodes. Ashley and Alex's red flag parade got 11 episodes. Even Connor and Bree's mature and mutual breakup got a full scene. Alyssa got a nail glue accident and a brief mention in the background of a group scene. Now, here is my full hot take, and this is the one I want you to really engage with in the comments. The way Netflix handled the Alyssa and Miguel situation is a perfect illustration of the thing that reality TV production does that is the most ethically uncomfortable. They invited Alyssa into the experiment. They told her the experiment was a real chance at real love. She believed it. She was vulnerable in the pods. She formed a genuine connection. She said yes to a proposal. And then when that connection ended badly, not because of anything she did, but because of who the man she chose turned out to be, the show decided the story was not worth telling. It was not dramatic enough. It did not fit the narrative structure they had already built for 7 other couples. So they erased it. But they kept Alyssa on camera, in group shots, in background scenes, knowing viewers would see her and never know what she had been through, knowing she would watch the season air and see herself reduced to a nail glue accident while her engagement was footnoted in a showrunner interview. And Miguel, the man who had 3 engagements in 2 years, who ghosted his Love is Blind fiancée the morning after their reveal, who used her connection to his previous fiancée as a justification for disappearing, has a new fiancé right now, today, as this video is playing, and nobody is talking about it loudly enough. Alyssa said she dodged a bullet, and she is absolutely right. But that bullet was loaded before she ever walked into those pods, and Love is Blind handed it to her. Comment below right now. Did you even know Alyssa and Miguel were engaged this season before this video? And what do you think about how Netflix handled their story? Do you think they owed her more screen time? Or do you think the show made the right call cutting it? Drop your take below. I am reading every single one. All right, let us close this out. 3 things to take away. 1. Love is Blind Season 10 had 8 engagements, not 7. Netflix confirmed it. Alyssa Finley and Miguel Lopez got engaged in the pods, did the reveal, and broke up the very next day when Miguel announced he was moving to Florida and then ghosted her completely. 2. Miguel Lopez has been engaged 3 times in the past 2 years. He ended one engagement in 2024. He ghosted Alyssa in March 2025, and by the end of 2025, he was already engaged to someone new with no connection to this show. 3 proposals, 2 years, 32 years old. 3. Netflix kept Alyssa on camera all season without ever acknowledging what she had been through. The showrunner's official explanation was one passive sentence, and Alyssa is out here telling the world she dodged a bullet and asking harder questions from now on. She deserved so much better than what this show gave her. Love is Blind Season 10 finale drops tonight on Netflix at 3 a.m. Eastern. Reaction video goes up the second it ends. Subscribe and hit the bell right now. You do not want to miss it. I will see you on the other side of this finale.